The pandemic caused a lot of people to reevaluate their employment situations. As a result, many people are deciding to quit their jobs. I know, because I'm one of them. When leaving your employer, there's a few things you can expect. You'll get your cash for your last paycheck, which should include cash for any vacation time or paid time off that you've accrued but haven't used. Your medical benefits will generally stop once you leave the company if you have company coverage. And then you'll have some options with your 401k. Today, we're going to discuss those options for your retirement account. I'm Craig, and if you're new to my channel, I'm a former financial coach and jack of all trades who likes discussing skills that are going to be useful for the real world. Here we'll go over lots of personal finance topics and other keys for self-improvement. This is the stuff I wish I knew and had implemented earlier in my own life. Before we get too deep, I'm not a financial advisor or tax professional, so always do your own research before making financial choices, and don't just listen to some random guy on the internet. Now let's discuss how leaving a job impacts your 401k. If you're not super familiar with the 401k, it's just a fancy term for a retirement account through your employer. Or should I say, former employer. There are a few main benefits to a 401k plan that I'll highlight now so that we're all on the same page. The first benefit is that the employer will often match the funds that you put into this account. That means if you're putting away money for your retirement, your employer is giving you free money to take care of future you. The next advantage is that contributing to your 401k lowers your taxable income amount when you go to file your taxes. This means in most cases you'd pay less in taxes in the upcoming year than if you weren't contributing. There are several factors we need to consider when leaving a job and how it's going to impact our retirement account. The first is a thing called the vesting period. If you've been receiving matching funds from your employer, you'll need to stay with your employer for a certain amount of time or they can take those matching funds back. This time frame is called the vesting period. For example, one of my previous employers offered a 6% employer match with a 6-month vesting period. I could contribute to my 401k as soon as I received my first paycheck. But if I left the company within that first 6 months, the money that the company had matched into my account and any gains that it had made would go back to the company. Depending on how long your vesting period is, this could be a lot of money. I know several people with vesting periods of 3 years or more. Some people see this as an incentive to stay with the company. Others feel like the company is holding them hostage. Regardless of your perspective, you'll want to consider this before putting in your notice. Check with your human resources department to see how long the vesting period is and if there's any other weird terms you should be aware of if you decided to leave the company. The next thing we need to consider is how we're going to fund our potential unemployment. We don't want to be thinking that we're going to be pulling money out of our retirement account as a source of income during this period. If we have another job lined up, cool. If we have ample emergency savings for several months, great. But if the plan is to raid your retirement account, that is a really bad idea. Here's why. Withdrawing a retirement account prior to age 59 and a half will result in a 10% tax penalty right off the top. And that's just the penalty. You'll also need to pay taxes on the money you withdraw as well. Your withdrawals are taxed as income. Depending on the tax bracket you're in, you may be paying 10%, 12%, 22%, or more. Then there's the fact that cashing out a retirement account will undo all of the hard work and sacrifice you've taken up to this point. The key thing that helps a retirement account grow is having it invested over long periods of time. Cashing them out destroys the whole process and can set you back a lot. I'll link to a retirement calculator in the description below so you can see the kind of damage that we're talking about here. It makes me think of pretty much any time travel movie where they alter something in the past and it drastically changes how the future pans out. That's kind of the situation. Just think of raiding your retirement account today like traveling into the future and stealing money from yourself. If there isn't another job lined up and there's no other savings to fall back on, then it probably is not a good time to quit. Now let's say you've already quit and have a backup plan that doesn't require cashing out your 401k. What are your options for your retirement account? The first option is to do nothing. When you leave employment, typically you can keep your 401k with your former employer. But there's a catch. Most brokerage firms will begin charging you more fees. These can be substantial and can really eat up your gains in the account. So if this is the case, it's probably time to move the account to a different investment company. Moving a 401k to a different investment company is referred to as a rollover. The easiest method is to roll over your 401k to a traditional IRA. IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. You can open a traditional IRA for free in many places like Vanguard, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, or SoFi. With this type of account, you won't have to pay taxes on that money yet. The taxes will only be paid at retirement when you go to take the money out. When I left my job, my 401k provider emailed me that they would start charging me a maintenance fee of $50 every 3 months. I told them no thank you. Instead, I called another investment firm and had them roll over my account into a traditional IRA. I personally use Vanguard because they have some great low-fee investment options, but there are other options out there as well. If this process sounds confusing or complicated, contact one of the companies mentioned in this video and they will walk you through the process over the phone. They will even help you transfer the money and close your old account. It's free of charge and can help relieve any stress you might have about the process. When you complete a rollover, some of your investment positions may transfer over to the new company. Others, you may need to sell and then purchase new investments that are offered from your new firm. Rollovers can take some time. I've done 4 of them now, and they average about 7 business days to complete. Now, once the funds are transferred over, you're not quite done. You need to verify that those funds get invested. Do not skip this step. I've known people in the past who started a rollover, but never took the time to reinvest their funds once the money was in their new account. They let their accounts sit in cash while the stock market made massive gains, and they probably missed out on about a 30% increase on their funds. Don't let that be you. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content like this.